What's up guys, Nathan here, and today I'm going to talk about why it feels like you're so unlucky at the poker table, why it seems like the bad players, they always hit their flush, they always hit their miracle trips on the river. You guys know what I'm talking about. I'm going to jump into it in this video. Alright, so a lot of people come to me and they complain that the biggest reason why they cannot win at poker is because all of these lucky fish keep hitting their miracle card on the river. Every time, right before they're at the final table, you know, they've got their ace king, the other guy's got king jack, they go all in, the guy always hits a jack. You know, anybody who's played this game for any length of time has felt these feelings that, you know, you're the unluckiest person in the universe so many times. I've run polls on my social media before asking people to rate themselves, their poker luck on a scale of 1 to 10, and the average, you know, with 1 being the lowest, and the average is always like a 2 or something like that overall with hundreds of replies. So the question is this actually true? Is everyone just the most unluckiest poker player in the world? Well, I think that we need to understand that there's clearly kind of a short-term thinking bias going on here, that we tend to remember a lot of our bad beats a lot more clearly than the times when our hand, quote-unquote, held. And while it's easy to think that we always get unlucky in poker, guys, we need to understand that the math does play itself out in poker over the long run. One of the biggest things I notice these days is a lot of people actually don't play enough poker in order to get to the long run. In my experience, having played millions and millions of hands of poker, your results over the course of days or even weeks really don't mean a whole lot. They can be in completely polar opposite directions. I've been through stretches in my poker career where I literally lost every single hand for 100,000 hands. That's an entire month worth of play for me during my heaviest days of grinding, multi-tabling online poker. An entire month playing like thousands of hands every single day. And I've been through these stretches multiple times in my poker career, and this is enough for most people to lose their mind, but eventually it turned around. And a lot of people that send me emails and stuff complaining about their bad luck, a lot of times, you know, I look over their database and they've only played like 897 hands in the past month. So one of my biggest suggestions in order to get past this short-term unluckiness that you're having is to just simply play more hands, whether that's multi-tabling or playing for longer hours, because this is going to increase the sample size and allow you to get to the long run faster. The other thing you need to understand is that when you're getting these bad beats, this is actually a good thing. It means you're playing in good games with a lot of weaker poker players, because what do weaker poker players do? They like to play a lot of bad hands, they like to chase every draw, they never fold with their bottom pair, they never fold queen high, they never fold anything. They've got 2 napkins they're calling. The beautiful thing about Texas Hold'em poker is that you almost always have a chance. Might only be 4% or 7% or something, but the bad player always has a chance to get lucky, and that's what keeps them coming back for more and more. You guys got to understand that these guys lose at a prolific pace. I've studied the data in my Poker Tracker HUD program. I'll have links to that in the description below. The biggest losing players, you know, the recreational players, especially online, that play all these bad hands, chase all their bad draws, these guys lose at an insane loss rate, like at least like 20 big blinds per 100, sometimes like 50 big blinds per 100. I've even seen higher than that. There are no normal players that lose at win rates like that. Even the worst regular players typically only lose at about 2 or 3 big blinds per 100 over the long run. So believe me, these bad poker players who always seem to be getting lucky against you, they pay the price big time in the long run. And again, you can just use a HUD like Poker Tracker to go see the data yourself. You know, a lot of times, you know, when this game starts getting in your head and you start thinking you're so unlucky, the best thing you can do is just go check the data yourself, because the cold hard numbers just don't lie, right? So now a lot of people make this mistake though of thinking, oh, well, I'm just gonna go play in higher stakes games against normal players. I'll just go play in higher stakes games and get away from all these wild, crazy players. And guys, unfortunately, poker just doesn't work that way. You know, like I just said, all of these wild and crazy players, while it looks like like they get lucky sometimes, they're losing at a prolific pace over the long run. And if you jump up to higher stakes, you're just going to be playing against more of those solid players who don't lose that much, who are much more difficult to beat. Like I always say, it's just math, guys. I always want to have one of those players that's losing at 30 big blinds per 100 at my table. I don't want to be at a table full of a bunch of people who are only losing at 2 big blinds per 100, because even if I'm better than all of them, I'm only winning a small amount. Yes, it's painful in the moment when that lucky fish hits his Miracle River card again, but again, we don't play this game for the results of individual hands. And this is where a lot of people get caught up and frustrated, is because they get so, what I call, sort of married to the short-term results. The results in a specific session, in a specific hand. It's just not a good strategy to approach poker like this and to sort of get in your own head. You need to get out of your way in this game and focus on the process instead, which is playing every single hand to the best of your ability. All of those bad beats, coolers, so-called setups and stuff, that's the stuff that's not in your control. That's the stuff that works itself out over the long run, and there's no point in you focusing on that because you don't have any control over it. You know, the best poker players in the world are hyper focused on the long run. I've talked about before, I don't even look at my results on a day-to-day basis or even a week-to-week basis sometimes, because I feel like it's going to affect me psychologically. If I have a couple bad days in a row, I'm going to start getting frustrated. I'm going to start doubting myself perhaps. These are the emotions and feelings that really, really destroy a lot of dreams and bankrolls in this game. You guys need to understand that we're always fighting this mental battle in this game. So that's the reason why poker is so profitable, because, you know, the recreational players get to get lucky sometimes. You know, poker throws them a bone. Unlike other games like chess, for example, which is primarily just skill, poker always gives the bad players this illusion that they can win sometimes, and they can. So like I said, maybe it's only like 5% or 10%, but they've always got a chance. And that's a beautiful thing about the game. And you, as a serious winning poker player, need to understand this. I call it a tax, you know, that we need to pay to the recreational players sometimes. And you need to be prepared for this over the long run. So guys, the real point of this video is that I know it can seem like you're getting incredibly bad luck sometimes at the poker table. You need to understand that this is a mental battle that all of us face. Nearly every single poker player out there also thinks that they're the most unlucky poker player in the world. And there's a couple things you can do. I would highly suggest just checking out the data yourself. Don't rely on your short-term memory here. It's often bad. It often just remembers about what happened yesterday, which again, we don't play poker for yesterday's results or today's results. We play for the results over periods of months and really years, actually. I know this can be very difficult for a lot of people to accept because we live in a results now world. Everyone wants fast results now. And unfortunately, poker just does not work that way. As I've mentioned before, poker is the exact opposite of a get-rich-quick scheme. The only way you're gonna have success in poker is if you're in this thing for the long run, but you need to understand that over the long run in this game, you cannot fight the math. If you keep getting your money, your chips into the pot with the best hand, you're going to have good results over the long run. So let me know in the comments if you are an unlucky poker player. Do you think that they're always hitting their lucky card on the river against you and it's holding you back? Or have you found a way to kind of tune this out a little bit and stay focused on the process of playing good poker like I talked about in this video? And if you guys want to see more poker strategy videos like this, make sure you're subscribed to the channel here, and also shove all in on that like button below if you found this video helpful in any way. And lastly, I'll leave a copy of my free poker cheat sheet. It's called Massive Profit at the Micros. That'll be the top link in the description below. I'll give you my complete strategy from both a mental and a technical side on how to beat the small and mid-stakes poker games. And finally, I will leave another video that I made just recently right here that I think will help you guys out some more. So thanks a lot for watching, guys. I hope this one was helpful. I will catch you in the next one. This has been Nathan Williams with BlackRain79.com.